Good morning. It is Friday, January 30th, 2026. And we have a interesting show. I decided last night, talked about it in the Discord, want to start targeting certain politicians that are coming up in, I'm going to start with mainly governor races. And we'll get into that one in a minute. I do have another story I want to start with, which is what most people have been talking about recently, at least since yesterday. And that is Trump says he wants to drive housing prices up because he wants people who own houses to have their house be worth more. Meaning when they go to sell it to you because, you're looking for a house and they're trying to sell, you are going to pay way more, basically putting it, again, outside of your price range, which, with Trump being a property owner, it makes sense. It makes sense that he wants to do that he wants to continue to screw people. It'll benefit him. It'll benefit his people. But will it benefit the country? No. Housing prices going up does not benefit the majority of people in this country. I mean, we have more issues that go in with that. We've seen prices go up, just constantly go up yearly, year after year after year, sometimes multiple times a year. And what never seems to match it? Wages. So we asked Google, how much should a single person make to live comfortably? And this is one of my favorite things to ask it. Let me zoom in so it's a little bit more legible for everybody. A single person generally needs an annual salary between $85,000 and over $120,000 to live comfortably in the U.S. as of last year. And again, prices are still going up. Cost of everything is still going up. I make a decent salary. Do I make that? No, I'm below that. And I consider myself to be decently well paid. So it's quite upsetting. And again, we're not the only ones who feel this. And it's not just wages aren't going up. This is just one aspect of why current life is just unaffordable. This is from 3 years ago. 20 years ago, working as a server, I lived in a corner, one-bedroom apartment downtown with amazing water views for $700 a month. A similar apartment now, given 3 years ago, $3,600 a month, more than 5 times as much. As a lawyer, at age 47, I am unable to afford living in the apartment I did when I was 27 while waiting tables. A lawyer is saying, hey, by the way, housing is unaffordable. Now, you go to school to be a lawyer, cost quite a bit because it pays decently in the end. A lawyer is saying they can't afford to live in an apartment. In that specific one that has a nice view. You can live in some small, crappy, little tiny apartment that maybe has a bathroom, that kind of place. But yeah, it's ridiculous. And this brings up Blackstone, which, yes, for the past couple years, the conversation's been BlackRock's buying up everything. And that's just a little bit of misinformation. Blackstone, BlackRock, easy to get mixed up. Blackstone is the real estate team. This was again 3 years ago, the $280 billion real estate team. And everybody says hey, they're buying up everything. And yes and no, they are buying a lot. They try to spin it a really, really funny way. If you actually look them up, look at their map, they say, we only own 1% of family houses. Yes, that's probably true. That's probably true. And actually, here is their map. Let's open this up. Probably gonna be pretty blurry, but yellow is single family rentals. That's the ones they were saying we only own about 1% or less than 1%. But they own multi-family housing. They own mobile homes, which gray ones you can see scattered about, and then student housing, which is all over the place. But Blackstone is buying houses, which it's even admitted here. They're buying houses to secure constant high yield income stream driven by a severe long-term shortage of housing in the US. So, we have companies out there who are making life hard on us. Then at the same time, Trump's like, no, why should I make it easier for people? And as Carl said in the Discord yesterday, why are we not in the streets like flipping out about this? When the president comes out and says, hey, I purposely want to screw the people of this country, we're just like, oh, okay. Everything he's done to screw us. Everybody sits back, okay. We have some in the streets protesting. We have the No Kings protest. Decent numbers. Do we have a general strike yet? Have we hit these people in the wallet? Let's plan one. Today is actually a day where you're supposed to not spend anything. A day. Bro, if you want to make this hurt them, it's a general strike for at least a week. At that point, they're feeling it. They are feeling it. They are crying. They are desperate. You then control it. We need to control this. So yeah, 100%. Nationwide general strike. Not just, a one day, I'm not going to buy anything. That's not going to do much. You're going to have like maybe 10, 15,000 people across the country be like, okay, well, I'm going to support this. I mean, I'm a big believer that, if I have off on Black Friday, I'm not going to go to the retail store where these employees don't have the day off and make someone work. Stay home. Don't spend anything on those days as well. Think about everyone. That's the most important thing. Think about everyone. Yes, you have the day off because you work for a company that says like, we want our employees to have off on Black Friday so they can go shopping. Bad mindset. Great to have them have a day off. I fully support having the day off, but it should be for everyone. There should be days where things are just shut down, just fully shut down. I understand you have hospitals. That might be a little bit of exception, and I do feel bad for them. We have firemen. Again, we have police that we will need. Well, police that aren't going to shoot us. We do need some things, but for the majority of this country, and we should support these people. If we have the day off and we know these officers are doing something, or these nurses, let's focus on the hospitals and firemen. They're doing something for us to help us, to protect us, keep us safe, keep us healthy. Maybe if you have the day off, do something nice for them. Might be a cool idea. You don't have to spend money on them. Maybe you could have made something for them to make their day just better. Support everyone without having to fund economos, which is what this country is driven off of. Pure love of economos. But yeah, Blackstone, scummy, the way they try to spin things. Oh, we only own less than 1%. Yeah, when you call out one small graphic, I mean, they could probably say like, oh yeah, we don't own that many homes, talking about mobile homes. That's corporate speak for, hey, I'm going to lie to your face right now and you're going to eat it up. Also, keeping rent high screws people as well. Rent is a cool idea. Like, say you want to rent a place until you can afford to buy your own house. How do you do that when scumlords like Blackstone sit there and jack up your rent year after year after year after year after year after year? And yeah, maybe they cover some maintenance. The same thing as we're going to talk about with insurance. If you don't use it, why do you have to pay so damn much into it? Why has something not been done about this to help the people? And yeah, you have Trump's health insurance plan, which also screws you. He's saying, oh yeah, you've been paying taxes. So what we'll do is we'll just give you back a small portion of what you paid, a very tiny, tiny portion of what you've paid. And you can buy your own insurance. Will it cover your whole policy for the year? No. And does health insurance guarantee that you can just walk into any office, get any operation you need done without having to pay more? No. Because again, it is a scam to screw you. Let's say I've been paying my car insurance for 5 years. No accidents, never had to use it. But then my windshield breaks and I have windshield coverage. Even when I go there, and I've been paying for this insurance for 5 years, never had to use it, I now also got to pay on top of what the insurance covers. Because, God forbid, you don't have to pay extra money. Part of the scam. It's disgusting. These are the kind of things that if we had politicians that actually, had a backbone, had brains, cared about this country, understood that, as I've said, governments derive their just powers from the consent of the governed. So why not think about those people? Why not think about those you govern and do something to help them to make this a better country? You have the American dream by doing something that actually benefits people. It's everything. The way we have this country set up so corporatized is vilely disgusting, and that needs to end. Which includes, yes, every politician needs to quit taking money from companies. We need a lot of reform when it comes to how politicians get money from places, either for their campaigns or from just companies getting I'm going to pay you this and you're going to pass this bill in our favor. That kind of shit needs to end. Why don't we get minimum wage raises, federal minimum wage? Why is it not at least, this wasn't even enough to cover a comfortable life, at least $15 an hour minimum federally? We're still at $7.25. We've been there for years. Can you live off $7.25? Can you live off 2 $7.25 jobs? Full-time jobs. I mean, you're working a full 80 hours a week. No, if you want to live at that point, live comfortably, you're going to be working a third job as well. Just stop sleeping. Work those 3 minimum wage jobs, which is what these politicians should do. If they don't think a federal minimum wage needs a raise so we can all have money to eventually save up to buy a house, go out there, work that $7.25 job, get money from nowhere else, pay all your bills, and tell me how that works out for you. It's disgusting. It's disgusting. Truly, if you want to have a solid, great life, feel comfortable, not worry about oh God, if one bad thing happens, I am screwed for the next month, at least. You need to be making 30 or more. And if you're in a family, both people need to be making about 30 or more an hour. It's ridiculous. It is absolutely ridiculous. It's almost, if you go back to when a slice of pie at the corner restaurant cost 5 cents. If those people were to come and look at how it is now, they would be this is almost borderline dystopian, because over the years, things have just gone up and up and up and up, and wages never seem to meet it. Wages never go up nearly as much. Nearly as much. Disgusting. Absolutely disgusting. Anyways, let's talk about scumbag. Spoiler, I'm originally from California. I've kind of always dabbled in just looking up politicians from California. And here's one that I've known about for a while. And he's finally decided to throw his hat into the race for California governor, which is San Jose Mayor Matt Mahan. Now, he's been a constant critic of Newsom. And I mean, yes, Newsom is not perfect. I fully agree with that. He's done a lot of scummy things. He's also against that whole bill that they're trying to pass where the wealthy have to pay an extra one-time payment of 5%. He's against that because he has friends, and I'm sure himself, would be involved in that, and they would have to pay that. How dare my money go towards anyone? That's the only way that can be taken. Any rich person who lives there who is against that bill, that is the only way it can be taken. How dare my money help anybody but myself? But yes, Mahan is considered a moderate Democrat. And I would even say that is a little generous, to be honest. Let's just go over his record. I mean, this is just saying like, hey, he has beef with Newsom and he's going to be entering the race. So, Matt Mahan. In early 2020, and yes, I'm getting this all from Wikipedia, but I did go through the sources. It is accurate. In early 2020, Mahan entered the San Jose City Council District 10 race. He won with 58% of the vote. And in January 2021, was sworn in as the District 10 council member of San Jose. In September 2021, he became a candidate for the mayor of San Jose, focusing on a platform of accountability in government. He proposed an accountability dashboard which would track progress on issues like crime and homelessness. Homelessness is a big thing with this guy, and you'll see why. And it's not in a way I would say homelessness should be dealt with remotely. He also pledged to end the current system of automatic raises for politicians and city department heads unless progress is shown. That part, I agree with. That is a very good thing. That was probably why he's done so well. But in November 2022, he was elected San Jose mayor. And that, again, saying crime, homelessness, and keeping the politicians from getting more money won it for him. That's absolutely how it went down. As we can see here, it's not showing the map. He barely won, though. He got 51.21% of the vote. And now let me tell you how San Jose screwed up. Y'all screwed up in this election. His opponent was Cindy Chavez. Who's Cindy Chavez? Well, this is the kind of person we need in office. And it's sad. She has ran for mayor multiple times and never won. And it's just so upsetting. Someone who has done good things. In 2017, Chavez joined the county filing in a lawsuit against the Trump administration, Trump versus Santa Clara County, when the administration threatened to withhold federal funds affecting hospitals, social services, and thousands of children, seniors, and the disabled. The administration targeted Santa Clara County for its sanctuary city status, which we still see him doing that today. If you accept people who aren't just white, anybody who is not pure white living in your state or your city, you're a vile place. You need wiped off the face of the map. That's the Trump administration mindset. Always has been. Luckily, that was in his first term. He had guardrails. There were people there put in place who would actually look at it and be like, nah, bro, we shouldn't do that. Like, that's not a good idea. No, we shouldn't do that. No, you can't shoot these protesters because you want to go across the street and take a picture. No, we're not going to let that happen. Do we have that in this administration, this term? No, not at all. Not at all. Another great thing that she's done. Oh, yeah, and a federal judge ruled in Santa Clara County's favor in that case. But Chavez has led efforts to create jail diversion programs for mentally ill offenders and the homeless, because homeless were being jailed, including sobering stations, crisis stabilization beds, and mobile crisis teams. Instead of just punishing these people who have something wrong with them and need help, who need help, and they most likely want this help in some form, she was offering that help. She pushed to make that help possible. She was the architect of Santa Clara County's successful $950 million housing bond in the November 2016 election that was instrumental in getting housing built for the mentally ill and homeless. Again, we've seen Newsom do this to an extent. We've seen other mayors do this. The city that I was born in, they've done it. There was an old hotel behind this Denny's and what used to be a what's that pie company? You could buy the frozen ones. Marie Callender. The Marie Callender restaurant, not the frozen pie place, but yeah. The restaurant. They turned that hotel into a place for homeless. It is now a completely remodeled, redesigned building for housing of the homeless. Great. You're helping them. They have access to a shower, access to things that they need so they can get back on their feet and survive. Now, again, we go back to what I talked about minutes ago with how much things cost and how we don't get paid enough. So they're going to struggle still, but at least it's something. It's something. And I like doing something to help and not just basically ruin their lives further. Throwing them in jail for being homeless, you're already down on your luck. Things have not gone your way. And no, not every homeless person is a hardcore drug addict, which is a terrible Republican mindset, a vilely disgusting Republican mindset. They believe homeless, they talk about homeless the same way they talk about Mexicans, because they're all rapists and killers. No, they're not. For both of those, no, they are not. It's disgusting for them to even think this way. But the other thing that she did that also cries out to my heart is Chavez worked to develop a shelter for homeless LGBTQ youth, a large percentage of whom were kicked out of their homes by douchebags who didn't accept the fact that they were not cis white males and stuff. It's like, are you serious? Your kid comes out and shows like, hey, sorry, dad, sorry, mom, I'm gay. And your response is, get the hell out of my house. You're no longer part of this family. No, those kids need the help. They obviously don't have love at home, so at least help them. She went and got that rolling. She got that done for them, so they have a place to live, which is what we should do for people. Care about everyone, which should be a constant message every day that people talk about. Help everyone. Like I said, if you have that day off on Black Friday, don't go shopping. Maybe go to the local hospital and do something nice for the nurses and the doctors that are working there that day. Help people. Bond. Build community. We stick together. Our government doesn't want to help us. That's clear. So let's help each other. Take them out of the equation, essentially. That's a great way to move forward until we get politicians who actually care about us. But yeah, no. Chavez has done great things. And she lost to this douchebag. Barely lost to this douchebag. Anyways, he was reelected in 2024. And this time he won against a retired marriage counselor candidate for mayor. I actually don't know anything about Tyrone Wade. I didn't even know he had a opponent in this one. But I'm sure they're still better than this guy. The main thing this guy has done that's pissed me off so much, again, talking about how people deserve to get paid fair wages. Oh, it took away my article. You jerk. You jerk. Oh, that is upsetting. That is upsetting. Anyways, I go at least to where it got corrected. We are extremely proud of the Staff Up San Jose Union. I am also very pro-union because unions help people fight for fair wages, which is something we should have. We should probably all have unions for every business we are in. But the Union Coalition campaign that they ran this year, in which our IFPTE Local 21 members organized powerfully towards a credible strike threat. The new contract they got, and this is in 2023, include a general wage increase of 14.5 to 15% over 3 years for all of our members, all of them. And an increase from 1 to 8 weeks of paid family leave. Because yes, if you just had a newborn baby, how dare you tell that mom and that dad, like, hey, by the way, we know you just got out of the hospital yesterday. Get your ass back to work now, which is the mindset these assholes have. And sure enough, he opposed the August 2023 deal with the municipal unions. And to make it worse, the deal did not require his approval, did not require his input to go into effect. Yet he wanted to go out there and be like, what? People gonna get paid fair wages? No, we can't have this, because he's a moderate Democrat, which, as we've talked about before, there is the spectrum, or the line, which is the political parties. This is my right, so you're gonna have to deal with that if it's on the left for you. So you have the far right. This is MAGA, and like Stephen Miller. You have Republicans, which are just like a slight hair to the side of them. You have moderate Democrats. You have Democrats, which are dead in the center. Everything over here is the left. We don't have politicians that are truly on the left. Closest we had was this lady who sadly didn't win for San Jose mayor, named Cindy Chavez, who cares about people. Instead, we elected a guy who is basically, you should just consider him Republican light, which is a majority, a vast majority of Democrats we have elected into office over the years for multiple places. They're Republican light. To even go, the DNC generally can be considered Republican light. They are not on your side. There are some politicians in there that are part of the DNC, but the DNC heads themselves, they're just Republicans under a different name. They're disgusting. They're the ones who fought against Bernie. Bernie wanted to help people. But no, why would we support him? Let's support Hillary Clinton, who most people did not actually want. No, don't support the person who will support the country. Nah, that'd be a bad idea. That would be a terrible idea. Because what's funny is if we had Bernie in office, Bernie had a much better chance of beating Trump. Hands down, had a much better chance of beating Trump. And if he had won that election, this second term of Trump's never would have happened. The DNC caused Trump's second term. There's no debate about that. 100% they caused his second term. But yeah, and then now this douchebag is running for governor. So if you're in California, you listen to this, research the people who are running, actually look into them, see the things they've done. And then when you see this guy, that should be an instant no. Absolute instant no. San Jose was dumb for putting him in office in the first place. That was a terrible, terrible decision. And yeah, he talks good. He talks very well. And maybe people don't understand the words he's saying or don't look into the fact that he says one thing and does another one. Like a lot of our politicians. And that's going to be a common theme you're going to see when I cover these people. They say one thing and do another. Because once you get into a position of power, apparently having a soul and a conscience just doesn't matter. Okay. Anyways, that was that story. That was Matt Mahan. He's a douchebag, San Jose mayor, running for governor. And then wanted to cover Axios report because saying that these services are at risk if the government shuts down again, which, hoping it does. Good thing is SNAP funding is safe this time around. Sad part is federal workers could miss paychecks and travelers. If you're going to bitch about your airport delay, just don't fly. I mean, with the Trump administration in charge of everything that's going on and planes not being the safest since they took office this term, I just wouldn't fly. That's probably a better idea. Much better idea. Save that money. But yeah, SNAP funding safe. That's the biggest part of this. Democrats are leveraging a package of funding bills to secure ICE and custom border protection reforms. After federal law enforcement killed 2 protesters, they've killed multiple people. Multiple people. We just talked about the ones they killed in the street. There's one that people don't even talk about. Dude was arrested at a gas station. You see 5 cops on him. One basically on his head with his knee. You see this guy take his last breath as they finally get done cuffing him, because it took all 5 of them to cuff a guy who was not resisting in any way. It was just the fact that they kept jostling him around that they made it seem like he was resisting so they could rough him up some more. I mean, go back to Alex Preddy. You see that one cop I'm disgracing cops by saying they're cops. These terrorists, when they were going after Alex Preddy, one of them, like, they already have him bent over. And there's 6 of them on him. One walks around and pops him in the face a couple times, as he's also not resisting. His arms are behind his back and he's on his knees. Why are you punching him in the face? What causes you to be so ignorant and so vilely hateful that you need to punch him in the face for that? And it wasn't even a punch. He had something in his hand. I don't know what it was, but he smacks him in the face twice before then they execute him. God, yeah. But yeah, that guy at the gas station, you see him on the video take his last breath. Because then once they're done, no longer breathing, you no longer see any movement from him. He's just laying there basically lifeless, and they try to pick him up, and they end up just dragging his limp body away. It's disgusting. Absolutely disgusting. Where'd it go? The still unfunded departments are on the chopping block. However, this includes defense, education, health, human services, homeland security, housing, urban development, state, transportation, treasury, and labor. Now, our education. Let's talk about them. This is under an administration that is trying to already defund education. Because if you keep your voters stupid, you know who they're going to vote for? They're going to vote Republican. Proven fact. You are uneducated if you vote Republican, unless you're a multimillionaire, because then you know these are the guys who are going to give you tax cuts. And at which point, if you're a multimillionaire, billionaire, anything above that supports them, you're just a soulless piece of shit. But yes, if you're not in that category and you're voting Republican, you are just uneducated. So please take some time and educate yourself. Learning is not a bad thing. I do it daily. Maybe I'll watch a video that explains some things that I had no clue about. Maybe I'll just look up, how is this thing made? I mean, that was a TV show. I mean, it might still be a TV show. I don't have cable anymore, but that was a show. You could watch how things were made. You could learn things. You could watch shows like Mythbusters, which, yeah, they were doing some comical stuff, but they actually taught you stuff at the same time. Don't try to defund kids shows, because kids shows, well, not modern cartoons for the most part, but old kids shows, they try to teach kids things. We need to keep education alive and thriving in this country. You do better. A world does better when everyone is educated. And we also see the more educated you are, the more left-leaning you are, because you understand, oh, this benefits everyone. This is how we can help everyone. Sorry, that's a woke rant. I'm woke. Want to help everyone. A shutdown would affect roughly 45% of the roughly 2.2 million civilian federal workers. Again, that sucks. It sucks for them and their families. And then Social Security and Medicare payments won't be affected, which is beautiful because people need that help. But yeah, and then travel. Don't travel. Sadly, don't travel. Not in this country. Not until we have competent people in there. Not some MTV reality show contestant. That's not a good person to have. Anyways, CNN talks about Trump is scared of the politics of ICE, and it's showing. And yes, this is after the shootings and everybody's backlash, and he's just confused as to why are people so upset about this? Why are people so upset about this? I mean, it's just my administration calling them terrorists and, wannabe assassins. And so he pulled out, what was his name? The douchebag, the short guy who liked to dress like a Nazi, liked to LARP like one, and pulled in Tom Homan. And Tom Homan came out and vows massive changes and ICE drawdown if Minnesota officials cooperate. Again. Why do they need to cooperate with you? Why are you guys still in the state? Why does Tom Homan have a job, and why is he not in prison for taking a bag of money when he was basically targeted by the FBI, by the previous administration, because not this one? They wanted to put him in prison because they understood he was corrupt, and he took a bag of money from an undercover agent. He should have been done at that point. He should not be serving in any position. And the fact that we call this douchebag the border czar, we don't have czars in this country. Get the hell out. That's not a position in government. The fact that people mainstream media keeps repeating that title, you're showing your ignorance. Please stop. Please stop. His name is Tom Homan. Or you can call him the dumb bald guy who's actually a crook and took money from an undercover agent because he's an idiot. You can call him that too. That works. That works. But yeah, Tom Homan is also very much a Nazi. And do Minnesota officials need to bow down to what he wants? No. They need to bow down to what Pam Bondi wants, which is their voter rolls? No. Do we need ICE patrolling the streets to basically kidnap people because they're not white? No. No. What should happen, and if Tom Homan was a man, like his last part of his name says, man, if he was one, he would work on abolishing ICE. Abolish it. There is no reason for it to exist. There is absolutely no reason for it to exist. No, not reform it. That won't happen. That won't work. You have to destroy it. Absolutely end it. And all these people who are involved in it, including Homan, including Pam Bondi, including Kristi Noem, Stephen Miller, and Trump himself, need thrown in jail for building it up to what it is right now. Every single one of them. These people are so upsetting. We did get some justice in a case. NBC News story. Former Illinois sheriff deputy sentenced to 20 years for murder of Sonia Massey. If you don't know about this, because it was talked about for a few days, and it feels like, at least outside of Illinois, it just died. Story just died quickly. On July 6, 2024, Sonia Massey, a 36-year-old unarmed black woman. Yeah, those are the two things you should understand in this story. Unarmed black woman was murdered by Officer Sean Grayson, a 30-year-old white deputy of the Sangamon County, I think that's how you pronounce it, Sheriff's Office in Woodside Township near Springfield, Illinois. Massey herself had called 911 about a possible prowler in her house. Grayson and Sheriff's Deputy Dawson Farley responded and found nothing after searching the vicinity. Moving inside her house, the deputies requested her ID, and Massey began searching for it. The situation escalated quickly when Massey removed a pot of boiling water from her stove after the deputies asked her to check on it. Massey lifted the pot and said twice, "I rebuke you in the name of Jesus." Grayson screamed that he would, this is a quote, "fucking shoot you right in your face," or shoot you right in your fucking face, sorry, and drew his service pistol. Massey apologized. Fact, she apologized and ducked behind a counter. So, like you would do in that position, she's now completely unarmed. She's apologized. She's now in fear, walks over and shoots her 3 times. Fatally wounding Massey with 1 shot in the head. So yeah, luckily, he was fired by the sheriff's office and charged with 3 counts of first-degree murder on July 17th, 2024. He claimed self-defense in his trial, also belittled her, talked shit about her during that first trial. But yes, now he is going to be serving 20 years in prison, followed by 2 years of supervised probation. Do I have more on this guy? I do have the story on him. A little bit of background on this douchebag. Sean Patrick Grayson. Let's see. He was enlisted in the U.S. United States Army as a wheeled vehicle mechanic, private first class at Fort Riley, blah, blah, blah. It doesn't matter. He did have a misdemeanor DUI conviction in August 2015. Then Grayson was discharged from the Army for misconduct, serious offense, though we do not know what this offense was. What did he do? What did he do that got him discharged for a serious offense of misconduct? Grayson worked for 5 different Illinois police departments and sheriff's offices between 2020 and 2023 before he was hired at the Sangamon County Sheriff's Office. Grayson, then a police officer at Kincaid, Illinois, falsely arrested a man named Kyle Atkins, not being racist this one, it was a white man, in 2021. Grayson claimed that there was a warrant and evidence against Atkins, which was, later proven to be non-existent. He was just, on a power trip. In 2022, Grayson, then a deputy for the Logan County Sheriff's Office, was involved in a high-speed chase where he ignored orders from his supervisors to terminate this pursuit. He reached speeds of 110 miles per hour, turned off his lights and siren, and only stopped after hitting a deer, which could have been a kid crossing the street, could have been old lady, could have been someone who was parked on the side of the road trying to fix their tire. Because, he knew better. He knew better. Yet, again, when his case for his murder of Sonia Massey went to court, he was in the right. She was in the wrong. She was threatening to kill him. The only way that he could protect himself was to draw his weapon. So yeah, it's a good thing. It's a very good thing that this trash panda is now in prison. That is very good news. Last story. This is my favorite from yesterday. Man accused of posing as FBI agent in apparent attempt to spring Luigi Mangione from prison. I love it. I absolutely love it. Like, guy's an idiot, but good attempt. Where is it? A Minnesota man was charged Thursday with impersonating an FBI agent after he showed up at a federal prison in New York City, claiming to have a court order to release the inmate. Identified by a law enforcement source as accused killer Luigi Mangione. Mark Anderson, 35, was arrested. But, yeah, they claimed he was in possession of weapons. We'll see how that one goes. But that is hilarious. That is absolutely hilarious. Decided to go in, try to pretend to be an FBI agent to free Luigi because, currently the way things are in the world right now, I don't really condone violence, but people with a mindset like Luigi are kind of far and few. Far and few. And yeah, don't forget about his case because it'll keep trying to get buried. This luckily brought it back to the light. Don't forget about him. Don't forget about the Epstein files. Another important thing. Never forget about that. Never. And never forget that it is your right to alter or abolish the government that is trampling on your rights. That is in the Constitution. Because our Constitution was written to help the people. Nope. Apparently it's just meant to be trampled on by some old douchebag who paints himself orange. Laws don't mean anything to him. Anyways, that was it for this week. I will be back next week. I think I was talking about on the Discord Monday. I'm probably going to go after, I don't want to really target him too hard. He is not the greatest person. He tries to play tough, but the mayor of Minnesota, or not Minnesota, Minneapolis, because yeah, he's getting too much praise online, and that's only because he came out and told ICE to get out of his city. He said the F word on TV. He's big and tough. He's big and tough. Yeah, he also got a man killed, an innocent man killed, and then paid the killer after it happened. After he broke his own stance and paid for the door to be busted down by a SWAT team so the guy could be killed. Yep, that's the guy we're praising. Great guy. Great guy. Anyways, yeah, thank you for watching, and stay safe. Stay away from ICE agents because they will shoot you because they're terrorist cell. And until next week, you all take care. Hey, thanks for watching this video. And if you could, please help us out and give us a like, maybe comment, and subscribe. Better yet, share our content. It's pretty dark times out there, and this is topics that people need to hear. It's what's best for our country. I mean, we're talking about better politics. And also, if you want, join our Discord. Carry on the conversation. It's a fun time. And until next time, you take care.